Hello, Arians. If you'd like to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. My name is Steph. I've created an inkblot made in your name and essence that we are going to scry or scroll for shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We're also going to add on Tarot and Oracle in the Shaman's Palm configuration, and where Mr. Ghost Gift is here kicking, we have Ghost Tube for any audio additions that may further inspire or irritate. Arians, overall, please do receive or release freely. So when you are ready, here is your scroll if you'd like to start scrying. Feeling well to comment below what you see, sense, or feel, as your perspective is powerful. But if you don't want to, a thumbs up is good too. Thank you. Smitten, thank you. Arians, I'm going to take a moment to open up. You're welcome to join me or utilize the timestamps below. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support in the name in honor of the Aryan Collective. Aries, sorry, just as my eyes were closed, I saw an outlet, like a socket, outlet, maybe one of the same things. Okay. I'm seeing an energy. It's like this conversation. No, it's not a conversation. It's like bellies are forward. Almost like a bendy exclamation mark, but the exclamation mark is upside down, but it kind of makes it upside right here. It feels a little childish in some way, shape, or form, and that could be in a good way, or it could just be how it's feeling. Because when I follow the shadow, it's actually like if this was a person, that was a person with their head on here, and their like bellies are kind of pointing forward. Actually, the shadows are kind of going the opposite direction. And way, way, way in here, I'm seeing like one of those faces, like a little bit of a sad face, And on this bridge of sorts that I'm going to call it, I'll call it a bridge. There is from Austin Powers sharks with lasers attached to them. I think that's what it's called. So sharks with lasers. Something feels like it's fading a little bit. And I kind of have like a sad face. This also could be in relationship. This isn't perhaps someone or something or some condition that you're working through or going through in the moment. This could be somebody in spirit as they're stepping in, that they're passing. The space is broadening, so that sad face is there, but it's actually that space is allowing them to come in a little bit closer because they're right behind you. There's actually two of them right behind you. Two apparitions of someone I love. There's two of them right there. I feel like I still feel sorrow, but it doesn't feel acute. It doesn't feel acute. But there's also some sort of expression that's happening for maybe some Arians where you feel a little farther away.
No thanks.
There's a leapfrog happening in here. I'm seeing a turtle, but this turtle's actually like swimming. Swimming, swimming in my swimming pool. Whether it's hot or whether it's cold in the swimming pool. There's also a headboard. And there are cobras or snakes above my headboard. Maybe something about your sleep state. Your subconscious state. I don't feel like they're attacking me. I feel like I've placed them there. Maybe this is subconscious knowledge. I'm seeing a woodpecker looking down. Normally I would see the woodpecker that way, but it's actually like looking down. I feel like I'm looking at a crystal cave. When I say crystal, it feels like black rock or some sort of...
I'm not sure.
Okay. Whatever this is, it might be in something about the land you're on, so it's not about the coloring or anything like that. It's giving me like ancient vibes. Old. Old architecture. Could be natural architecture like a cave or something that man has created a long time ago. I'm also seeing one of those things behind a door. When you flick it, it goes boom. Is it the door stopper? So when you open the door and then boom. Seeing one of those. Arians, I'm going to start adding on Tarot and Oracle in your cave in just a moment. I'm going to see if there's anything else that's standing out while I'm up here gazing. There's an energy coming forward to me. They have open arms. Something about their ears, earrings, or the decoration of their ears. It's weird because they have like I don't know if it's like long hair, long braids, but then there's these ear things that kind of. I think there's. How do I? Okay, Arians. There's something you're calling or speaking to, or that is in the Aryan aura. Maybe this is of your aura. I don't know. I'm just a guess. So thank you. It feels like an artifact or an ancient energy. I'm going to call it ancient energy because it's giving me Thunderbird vibes. But at the same time, as soon as I acknowledge the Thunderbird, I see Doberman. I think it's like Doberman dogs off to the side. And I feel like that symbol means something in a certain culture that maybe I'm not familiar with. I'm also seeing a beaver in water. Maybe it's emotional work. Oh, I just like bit the back of my tongue. That hurt. Okay. Aries, let's start adding on your Fountain Tarot, Shaman's Palm. So in your Cave of Ice, we have here Nine of Swords. And you know the drill as well. If these tarot cards mean anything to you, follow that first as I follow the art and then yammer. This reminds me of the bed frame, the sleep state. Maybe even no, it's not sorrows. It's the sad face, but in regards to something that's changing. King of Wands is in your Cave of Winds, the way you're feeling. Or sorry, not feeling, what you might be thinking. I kind of feel like I'm mountain climbing or like cliff climbing, or like rappelling maybe, portaging. I feel very active, like I'm climbing a wall vertically. I don't actually know that it's vertical, Aries, but maybe this is the mindscape that I'm feeling. What's in the Hearth Fires? Page of Wands. There's that child, that youthful... is the lighting, sorry. That youthful feeling. Inside. Like from when I was a kid, you know? Sitting with their bellies on, like, hey, you want to play with my toy? You want to play with my toy? And like maybe something has grown up or you've grown out of it. Arians, Cave of Rivers, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, see, and I kind of got lost. Where's my little penny pen so we can... Right here, like that's where I was seeing it. It's almost like this Wheel of Fortune between, and maybe this is between yourself, right? This could be between aspects of yourself, archetypes that you're holding on to, ideas of what it is that I want. But somewhere along the lines, there's a disconnection because it's making space for a new connection. And I feel like that new connection will be in front of you. There's something about the land. What's going on with the land? Look at, even in this Nine of Swords,
she told me.
It's like lasers. Remember when I was talking about those laser sharks with lasers on their heads? Okay, separate story or perhaps the same one. I'm not going to try and constipate it and control it. This with somebody in spirit, they come in like geometry or an orb that you recognize. There's a person in there. At least I'm seeing a person in there. This is not the same as this conversation. I feel like when I say detached or detaching from, it's because they've passed, versus the other one feels like it's something existing. Like maybe it's a job or an idea you have.
Open.
This one's very open. This one has the space. The other one is... Because I'm seeing it like children when you copy each other. And that's how you learn and play. And now it's detaching because it can't be codependent. Or maybe you're just working through codependency in some way, shape, or form, right? I don't know what it is. Yeah, see death to that. And this is in your cave of earth coming through. That's very interesting. What's on the bottom? Queen of Swords. Sink. You know, okay. We'll do that. Okay. Some of you Arians, I'm going to go into the cave of earth because it's something about the land that keeps coming in. And when Ghost Tube said sink, you might have like the sinking feeling. This could be very out in the aura of all, right? Maybe it's a collective feeling. Maybe you have a sinking feeling about this in the other regard of this companionship or friend or cohort or business proposition, job is coming to an end. You've got this sinking feeling. Got to come back to the land again. Some of you Arians are feeling the power of the land. And it's almost like I can see steam coming up, but it's not actually steam. It's an energy coming up from every blade of grass, every bead of sand. I just saw the movie Tremors in my mind. Tremors. This might be, the pain and suffering of the collective of what's going on. Can you feel it? I feel like you do feel it.
I'm not sure.
So I want to climb up to not like have my feet so connected to it. Or I swim. Beaver tail, I do work. There's work Arians that you are doing in relation to help, in some cases, propel certain energies, and in other ways, ease. This feels very collective energy like Arians. This feels immensely like you are connected to the aura of all, as very much so the earth as well. And that can kind of sometimes be overwhelming and almost nightmarish. I come back to the sharks with lasers. But my shine, if my shadow kind of understands that, let's just say, and then I start climbing towards the sun. Towards the sun. Towards the sun. That's what brings me into. It's like from this cave of ice, which I feel like as I'm sleeping, and this death, it's like being in a morgue. Aries, this message is very deep and cold. contrastually, it's also very warm, but I don't want to stop it in case it's very meaningful for someone. In the cave of ice and earth, it's like going really, really deep into the earth where it's cold, like digging out a hole as a refrigerator. But then all the shine comes in between. I climb up to it and I find this youthful energy again. It's almost like moving when you're a kid. Your parents are saying, oh, we're moving. And it's like, no, my friends. And then within a few years, you find new friends. And that doesn't disregard your old friends. Oh, is it like a cellar? Yeah, it is like a cellar. Maybe this is like the consciousness cellar or what you're feeling like. And things get moving again. It's almost like once I do detach a little bit from something or someone, maybe this is grief, nightmares, or the collective, because Arians, I feel like there's big opportunities for me to choose. It's like looking at 3 massive tunnels, or of all, or of, relationship, companionship, to the aura of my own like dreams and nightmares. And what they're, because I'm seeing, what is that paper? We used it in high school, I think. I could call it tracing paper, but it's not. It's like one of those things when you make a form and it would automatically, is it carbon copy paper? Carbon copy. So you could write on top and it would make copies of it. And there's something about this. There's something about like the more something's copied, the dimmer it gets between the things, I don't know, the papers, the whatever the case is.
Higher.
Okay, so I want to go back to the climbing with the King of Wands. And I'm climbing up towards the sun. It's like the beauty of what the trees give by being rooted and wandering. They all reach up towards the sun. That's like in some regards, their most youthful expression is like the top of the trees. And then I can start seeing clearly now. I can see clearly now. Okay, let's take a look at your psychology dream card. If you want to scry that as well. And if you haven't already, Arians, please do consider like sharing and subscribing. You guys are great and you totally warm my haunted heart. I'm so grateful for your attention, awareness, and I appreciate you, truly. Okay, Arians, number 5. If anything stands out, please follow that. I'm going to grab the psychology card. The number 5 might mean something to you. Change. Oh my goodness. The card is separation, and it's a source card as well. I will read it to you. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story, Aries. Some of you might be separating even from all the aura of all. If this is not a personal resonance reading, don't make it fit, of course. This just could be trying to control the collective or the tidal wave of the collective pain. Climb higher, keep growing. It's where you get younger. It's almost like the way I'm seeing it when, parents would check our heights at the side of a door, measuring tape. The taller you get, the younger you are. In a really nice way. Okay. Your psychology card meaning is separation. An angel with a flaming sword cuts through the seeker.
I want you to go.
Individuating, polarizing, and differentiation. Through separation, we distinguish ourselves from others and create our own unique being. We welcome conflict that rather than resist it. For through struggle, we find how we are different from others and affirm those differences. Unity is not the only goal in life or relationships. Separating out from the collective and intimates is also necessary for individual being. Your task, should you choose to accept, is to break old unities, take back projections, and develop a life related to but not dependent on others. Aries, there's that bed, first and foremost. First and foremost, like, I don't know. It's just the first, it's just what I noticed. And this angelic sword, for me, is like, this is what I'm climbing, is this angel sword. And then inevitably through this page of wands, this child is holding said sword. I climb the very sword I'm going to hold, but in lieu, I have got to detach and separate, because the separation creates space. Carbon copies of people, personalities, the world.
Cheating.
Maybe for you, you feel that, or you see that. And it's like thinking, how do I be unique? I don't think it's something you try to do to be unique. It just is. It's almost like trying to understand your own uniqueness or beauty that you bring to the world could constipate it a little bit. You know what I mean? There's a saying goodbye here. You might have dreams about losing teeth or teeth grinding.
Okay.
There's control there. Releasing control of the change and allowing it to be a little bit more fluid. I see it's like a chickadee and an egg, but for a moment I saw it as, oh, now it's gone. It's gone. I don't see it anymore. It's okay to detach from the herd of the world sometimes and climb up higher, because that's actually where you might be able to help more.
I don't know.
And there's the woodpecker looking down. Let's add on some secret language of light cards here. Arians, I feel as though I am orbiting, but kind of like the Flintstone car for a moment. Like I feel like my feet are going, but I'm not going anywhere yet. But then once I go, I take off, because I gotta let go of something on the bottom. Healing is coming through. Sorry, I'll bring this up this way in case you can see it. Healing. And you are the universe. On the bottom is soulcraft. This is what you're, okay, when I see the soulcraft, I see this like a craft, like a spaceship, a craft, a vehicle, a vessel, whatever the case may be. Oh my. How you were going to climb into your oh my goodness, individuality, is you take back any projections you've put out.
God.
Develop a life related to but not dependent on others. This doesn't mean not compromising or creating connections that work and flow and add. Almost sometimes it's like I feel like I need to retreat from, it's like working in a Wall Street or something like that. It's very, very busy, and every so often I need to retreat to regain my composure, separate from the excitement, because that space of separation actually allows me to climb up, that sword of sorts. But in order to do that, I separate. This space is welcomed. But for some reason, it's like I want to go back and forth freely, or whenever I'm ready to do that, they're available. But there feels like I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm not resisting something. Because I feel like when I'm resisting trying to help or resisting getting involved, I'm hardening something, and I don't really understand the language, Arian, so maybe it's helpful to you, or maybe maybe this is part of your special craft of what you're doing. And I feel like you might be inspired by people, or other
Move
things.
it.
But you're not about being a carbon copy or carbon copying others. It's like if you get somebody's form of something and you got like the seventh one, you're like, I don't want the seventh one. That's, you know, mastery. Sorry if I didn't say, we're adding on from the mega deck.
Table.
The ancients of the divination of the ancients and the Lightworkers Oracle. Do you know that's is it Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Trek, maybe? Yeah. Big Bang Theory, Sheldon plays that thing. Isn't it funny? I think it's Star Trek, but was that just the Star Wars? It doesn't have to be any of those. But that thing, that musical instrument, whatever that's called, so if you know what that is, feel free to let me know below. That's what I see you're mastering. This invisible space that makes sound. It's very healing when I hear it, but it's more important that it's healing for you first. Eternal now. I don't think I've ever seen this card before, actually, to be honest with you. No, I have not seen this card. Didn't the ghost tube say God at some point in time? And while it's very stereotypical, and I'm not looking for any sort of truth or definite concept to place in concrete, but in the moment, it has stepped through. Eternal now, and it's like I want to put in his hand this youthfulness. And sometimes I feel like when I look at this card, I'm like in a hamster ball. One more for Arians.
Frightened.
Life path. Through the space of separation in your psychology card is where I feel like there's the space there. Separation is being that sinking feeling. Yeah, we're back into the cellar, right? We're talking about like when you were a child in the hand of God. And what you're growing up to be is so that you recognize it as you versus seeing parts of other people.
Amazing.
Okay, but I'm going to go the other way. When I look at all the people, I see parts of me. I'm seeing the movie The Craft, and I understand the Soul Craft card came up, but I didn't actually see that. Also, I want to note with Eternal, you had You Are the Universe come up here. And your mastery of healing. That's how I want to put that. Thank you. Eternal now. You are the universe. Life path. Soulcraft. It's almost like when I come to this death card on Earth, it's like I'm lifting a blind or a shade, or somebody has tinted windows maybe the way you view yourself or other people. Because even when I over here with the Queen of Swords, there's it's in front of her, there's all these different prisms, like different tints, but it's like I'm pulling the shade up or down. Arians, I hope this has served, inspired, educated, or entertained in some way, added to your existence experience. This feels, it's of a magnitude. I come back to that earth again because it's like you're connected to a grain of sand, a bead of water, the tallest leaf on a tree. And while you have all these views,
Speak.
it's like you're sleeping on it for a minute. And some things are going to slither away. And that's okay. The pain of the world is not for you to draw in. But I feel like if you do draw people, places, or things, and I'm not saying it has to be only pain, but also pleasure. Maybe that's something you work with, is the pain and pleasure complex, tragedy, comedy. I don't know. But I see it like, coming in like that Wall Street chaos and then retreating a little bit, separating from it to gain my, hold my own. And but that not being a chore, not being an effort. So every time I step into that chaos of sorts, it feels I'm the grounding point for even for myself first, and then for others to kind of calm the energy down. But then on the flip side, it's like when the collective of, let's say, this Wall Street or whatever that's coming through for, if that means something to somebody, the pain, through all that, if I draw it in, it could fuel my god of war as well. Could create a war within myself if I'm looking at a person, a collective, a place, a thing, an idea, and sticks in your craw.
24.
Does it inspire that god of war? But does the war within yourself, is the war projected out? Are you sensing war in the collective? And what do you do with that? Is it raising that up? And it's like, oh my goodness, I feel like separate a little bit. Climb higher. Go higher, Aries. You do go higher. And you have this unbelievable source. I don't know. That just has all these channels for you to rise above. Carbon copies. I don't. Arians, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being my muse. You guys are great. Whew. All the links are below to help a gal grow. I am so grateful for you. I can't even extend the gratitude for this. As soon as I'm even looking at your scroll, it's like, I want to know, like, I want to say, like, I love you this much. Like, that's this much. Until next time, Aries, we will flip it and we will do it again for perspective possibilities. See you then. Bye. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Now that I can do. Watch me now.
Thirst.
Hey, work on, baby.